A father's grief, a mother's silent anguish. A young, boisterous family with 5 little girls, now shattered.
I won't see my daughter again.
Can you tell me about how you got this news?
I was at work. She called me to get to the school. I went to the school and tried to get in the building. The police barricade pushed me back out. So I just stood on the sidelines and watched this whole thing play out.
I can't imagine what it would be like to be standing outside those doors, wondering.
It's the longest day ever. It was the longest day ever.
Stephen Garcia and Jennifer Lugo remembering their little girl Ellie as they try to process her senseless death.
What would you want people to know about your Ellie?
Sweetest girl you've ever had the chance to meet. And I had the honor of calling her my daughter.
Next week, June 4th, would have been Ellie's 10th birthday. She was looking forward to having a pool party to celebrate.
Told her we're gonna have a party. Their face just lit up, and that was the last time I saw her.
Hey guys.
Ellie loved basketball and TikTok and the colors pink and purple. She wanted to be a cheerleader and was already planning her quinceañera 5 years away, even picking out a dress. A little girl who lit up every room and every picture.
She loved to dance. She loved to have fun. She loved ramen noodles. And she just loved life in general.
Ellie and her older sister, just 1 year apart, inseparable, and she often cared for her little sisters.
The younger ones, they still don't understand their sister's not coming home.
And Ellie was devoted to her grandparents, doting on them, spending most weekends at their side.
Sure. It happened.
It's hard to even put into words.
Her grandparents still struggling with the reality of what happened.
Tell her you love. You're there for her. She wanted to come home. But my daughter said, no, you need to stay in school. Try not to miss so much and, get smart. So just stay. This is the result that we got.
School's supposed to be safe.
Yeah.
For every child lost, 19 of them, there are stories like this, and parents who will never be the same. 10-year-old Amory Jo Garza was another 4th grader at Robb Elementary.
She was a real good student. She was a very good daughter, friend, very playful, very silly.
Amory loved to draw, do science experiments, and make people laugh. She wanted to be a YouTube star one day.
She was a perfect daughter, yeah. She was a perfect daughter.
When he heard about the shooting, Alfred Garza III raced to the school. While waiting for news about his own daughter, Garza says he tried to comfort the children who did manage to get out.
They were just overwhelmed and just crying. And so as many as I could, hey, do you know your mom, dad's phone number? Let's call them, let's let them know you're okay. That's what I tried to do to bring some comfort to the kids, let them know that, hey, mommy and daddy know you're okay, you're safe, you're here, you're not in any harm. And just tried to calm them down as best I could. And obviously I was getting a little overwhelmed myself, but I was trying to keep my cool for the kids. I was trying not to think about it. I was just expecting for her to walk through that door at any moment,
You were helping those kids,
yes,
having no idea how your little girl was.
Yeah. I was waiting for her.
He waited 6 hours with the rest of her family, praying for a miracle that never came.
It must have been
It was a nightmare.
such a painful scene.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. It still is, but the unknown is where it was hard because we didn't know if she was still alive. We didn't know if she was, injured. We didn't know if she was already, she passed already.
Now, all he can do is treasure photos and memories, like this fishing trip the two took.
She's your only daughter.
Only daughter.
Only child.
Only child.
It's hard to even wrap your mind around something like that.
This is the last photo he has of his baby girl, posing proudly with her honor roll certificate just hours before the shooting.
I just want to honor her name. I just want her to be remembered as the type of person that she was.
Garza says he is determined to stay strong for her.
I don't want to disappoint my daughter. I want to live and make her happy and keep her memory alive, you know.
Ellie Garcia's mother, Jennifer, is still reeling, too devastated to even speak, clutching her last Mother's Day gift from her little girl, a jar Ellie made for her mother's prayers. Her parents say Ellie had a strong faith and was excited about reading a verse at church this coming Sunday.
Jesus, he died for us, so when we die, we'll be up there for him.
She's never going to be forgotten. She's a big part of our family. Always has been, always will be.
Ellie's family shared the Bible verse she was going to read this weekend. It's Deuteronomy 6:18. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. A beautiful little girl. There are so many beautiful little children who lost their lives in this tight-knit community. I was just so struck by their courage in speaking. It's not easy to do so, and it's not for everyone. But they want the world to know that these were children who mattered and children who lived. And it's just really important that we tell these stories. And as for Ellie's quinceañera, she had already picked out her dress. You know, it's 5 years away. It's for a 15-year-old girl. And her dad told me, we're going to buy that dress, and we're going to hang it in her room. She will always be with us.
That was powerful, Savannah.
That was really, really beautiful.
We're so thankful that those family members decided to share those stories, because those stories are important. We cannot forget not just the lives lost there, but all the lives that have been lost in school shootings like this in this country. This cannot continue to happen.
It cannot.
It cannot.
And I think
that's not a political statement.
Right. No.
You know?
Yeah, it's enough already. I think that is something universal. It's enough. And I think a lot of moms, Savannah, looked at that mother and understood her silence sitting there holding that jar. I mean, my word. Yeah.
Thanks.
We love you.
I mean, it's too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
We love you.
What played out at the school right here behind me and the children in that classroom.
Tonight, inside the unspeakable horror, officers running to the scene with the 18-year-old gunman already inside Robb Elementary School, where second, third, and fourth graders were in the middle of their day. Authorities say he got in through a back door, slipping into a classroom and opening fire on fourth graders and their two teachers.
All in that unit, stand by. Do not attempt to get closer. We got shots fired.
Authorities believe he got into that school at 11:32 a.m.
Need to respond to South Grove and Mill Street to establish a perimeter.
Authorities say the suspect, Salvador Ramos, a high school dropout here, turned 18 just 9 days ago. Tonight, the ATF now saying just 1 day after his birthday, he bought an AR-15 style rifle. 3 days later, he bought a second one. And 4 days after that, he was here at the elementary school. Tonight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott describing the horror that played out even before he arrived at the school, at the home where he lived with his grandparents.
The first thing that happened was that the gunman shot his grandmother in the face. She then contacted police.
A neighbor describing the grandmother with a gunshot wound to her forehead, helping her to dress the wound. Tonight, she is in critical condition. And as all of this was playing out, Governor Abbott now revealing the suspect was posting chilling private messages on Facebook. The first message, that he was going to shoot his grandmother.
The second post was, I shot my grandmother. The third post, maybe less than 15 minutes before arriving at the school, was, I'm going to shoot an elementary school.
The suspect's grandfather telling ABC News he had no idea his grandson had these weapons and that he had no driver's license, still taking off in their truck.
The gunman fled, and as he was fleeing, he had an accident just outside of the elementary school, and he ran into the school.
Authorities say on his way in, opening fire with school officers. The suspect wearing tactical gear, getting into the back of the school.
The gunman then entered a back door and went down 2 short hallways and then into a classroom on the left-hand side. The gunman entered into that classroom, and the classroom was connected internally to another classroom.
Authorities say the gunman then barricading himself inside that 4th grade classroom and began shooting. Border Patrol, police, sheriffs, all converging on that classroom. Outside, parents racing to the school amid reports of an active shooter. A firefighter describing the parents and first responders pulling children through windows to get them out. back in that classroom, Border Patrol killing the gunman. And we learned today that one of those officers, a deputy sheriff, losing a daughter in the shooting. And the children who did get out, unable to erase what they saw, what they heard. Fourth grader Jordan Legis.
We just hear all kinds of gunshots going off, like non-stop, like constantly gunshots. And then we're over here all scared, on the ground, fearing for our lives.
The superintendent ending the school year early.
My heart was broken today. We're a small community, and we will need your prayers to get us through this.
The school children evacuated, many taken to the Civic Center, some even taken to the funeral home, waiting to be reunited with their parents. And then the families waiting, the grief on their faces as the hours went by, consoling one another, pleading for answers.
And Alegria, please line up right here.
And the remarkable moment, Pedro Adame searching for his niece in the crowd of children being led inside, when suddenly they spot one another.
Yes, we got it. It's okay. We're right here. We're right here. Okay? It's okay. We're right here, okay? Hey, we're right here, okay? Hey, it's okay. We're right here.
For so many others here, the reunions never came. Tonight, these are the young lives stolen here in Uvalde. Amory Jo Garza had just turned 10. And look at this image, holding an award for the honor roll. That award had just been given to her hours before the shooting. Her family says she tried to call 911 during the shooting. And tonight, her father, Alfred Garza.
What would you want people to know about your daughter?
She was the best person that I know. Full of life, gone too soon, always smiling, very productive. She was her own self. She was her own person. She was a leader. She didn't try to be like anybody. She wanted to do things the way she wanted to do them. And that's what I admired most about my daughter. She was not a follower, she was a leader.
He shows me the video of them fishing together. He now cherishes.
Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing?
Overnight here, Adolfo Cruz, a grandfather waiting for word on his granddaughter, Eliana Cruz Torres.
I just took a little time to go to the hospital and see if we could find out anything over there, and nothing.
His granddaughter did not survive. There was Xavier James Lopez, who was 10. A family member saying Xavier's mom was at that award ceremony just hours before the shooting. She had no idea it would be her final time with her son. His grandmother on the pain.
It's so hard. You send your kids to school and thinking they're going to make it back home, and they're not.
Annabelle Rodriguez was 10. She died along with her cousin, Jacqueline Jalen Casares, also 10 years old, seen here in her first communion just weeks ago. Her father telling ABC News, "My little girl was full of life and touched so many people. She had the biggest heart. Jackie was the one that would go out of her way to help anyone." 10-year-old Rogelio Torres, his mother telling us he was a very smart and loving child. There was 10-year-old McKenna Lee Elrod and Jace Carmela Luvanos, 10 years old, and Jayla Nicole Seguero, 11. They were cousins too. The family telling us they were nothing but loving baby angels, always had a smile on their face, just full of life. Lucia Garcia, his grandfather, saying he was the sweetest little boy that I've ever known. And tonight here, the teachers. Irma Garcia, it was her 23rd year teaching at the school, about to celebrate her 25th wedding anniversary with her husband. She taught the children with 4th grade teacher Eva Morales. At the school for 17 years, she loved hiking in the outdoors, and her students loved her. Tonight, the growing memorial outside the school here, the flowers on the school sign, the officers just off behind it, and that father who showed me his daughter fishing with him, and his vow tonight to always honor her.
We have to honor her and make sure that we do good, and from this day forward, I want to live my life for my daughter that can't be here to live hers. I want to try to do as much as I can, the best I can, as positive as I can, and I just want to do what would make her happy. Just live my life how she would want me to live it, and just do her proud, do her proud, and just live the life that she can't live anymore,
That's your purpose now.
That's my purpose now.
The father determined to honor his daughter, the parents here, the families here that must now somehow find a way forward without their children.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.